Hey everybody, Cathryn Hartt here of Heart and Soul Studio. Today I'm going to be doing a video on cold reads. I just did a cold read class and I do one in person fairly regularly because a lot of you really get stumped on what to do with cold reads. First of all, let's change the title of cold reads. I don't know who came up with that awful title. But let's change it to something more like warm and fuzzy reality moments as an actor. Okay? Because a cold read is not really a reading at all. It is an audition. So you would prepare for it just like you would if you had plenty of time to memorize, break down your character, break down the scene, and I have all this wonderful real stuff and creating my reality about where I am. Well, I'm going to do that with my cold read. I'm just going to do it really fast. So I get a cold read, my script. I look at it very quickly like I would any good scene. I create my reality. I see where I'm supposed to be. What am I in the middle of doing? Remember, on any scene you ever do, and that means auditions too, I am in the middle of doing something. And you need to take a moment to set up your character and set up the reality before you ever start to say lines, or you're going to lose the casting director. They're like, oh, it's so fake. If I just start saying lines, it doesn't seem real. You have to take that moment at the very beginning, and I would do that on a cold read also. So the first thing I'm going to do is create my reality, like I would on any good acting scene. Then I want to look at the scene and not go like, how many lines do I have and how do I say them? All right, just don't do that. You don't do that on any scene. I'm going to look at it and break it down into little sections. And I actually go through and draw lines in there, sort of like you're breaking down a scene into objective beats, for those of you who know what that is. For those of you that don't, you're going to go through and you're going to put the shifts in, where I'm going to map out the scene so that if I'm supposed to start by really looking at the person and trying to figure out who they are and what's going on, and then I see a little thing, I'm going to try and cheer them up, so I know that there's a little picture over there, and I kind of start goofing around with the person with the picture, and I'm trying to cheer them up. Oh, I got them cheered up. Oh. All right, now that I've cheered you up, let's transition. This is the place where I'm really going to explain to you what I need to explain to you, and maybe even kind of show it to you a little bit, because it's important I'm explaining A and B to you. And now that I have, I shift again, because this is the moment where you realize I'm telling you, you're going to die. So we have that one last little beat at the end when we have that. So that's the way I look at a scene. You map it out, going from each little shift and understanding why the transition is happening there, and you keep shifting and changing, okay? So it's very important that I get that across. That's the main thing that the director needs to see, is that I'm a real person. I'm really the character. I'm creating a reality. I'm living and breathing. I understand the shifts and changes of where this character needs to go. And now, of course, the most important piece de resistance of all is I'm going to spontaneously be playing off the other person. Even if they're a terrible cold reader, they're 25 feet away from me, as I got from someone in class tonight. But when they're 25 feet away, you do the same thing. I create my reality. I'm using my imagination to pretend like they're really good and they're really the person that I need to see. Just like I'm creating the reality that I'm in the room I'm in, even though it's the audition room. And I'm creating the reality that I'm a different person because I'm playing a character. That's all we do, is create realities that aren't real. And so now I'm going to really see the person. And I'm going to play off of that person as if something is really going on that I don't know what it is. Just like I would in any other good scene. Now, I suggest you memorize the first line and the last line if you have a chance, because the first line is the one that pulls them in, the last line is the last thing they see you do. So I don't want to look at my script for that. Then I suggest that you get your little finger in between the next page. As soon as you flip the page, my little finger immediately finds the next little page so that I don't get stuck changing pages. I suggest you also know what happens at the top of the next page, just so you know very easily where you're going to go. And when you're looking at the script, don't look at it like you're looking at a script and drop character. Very bad. You're going to stay in character. I'm having a reaction. I don't look at the script until I'm really paying attention to you and I'm having a real reaction spontaneously, as my character would, from what you've just said or done. And that causes me to have a reaction. And while I'm having that reaction, like I'm thinking or something, I sort of glance down at the script at the next little phrase, not the whole line, just a little phrase, and I come up with that. And I look at you as much as possible to tell you what I need to tell you. And then when I need to look down at the script again, I'm kind of thinking, having a reaction to you while I kind of grab that next line, and then I look up to you and I say it. Also, they know it's a cold read. If you mess up a word here or there, they're not going to die. However, if you say every single word perfectly, but you never look up and you never really are the character and you don't take any shifts or beats or changes, you're not going to get the audition. So don't worry about reading the lines perfectly. Stay in character, create the reality, and just, glance down every once in a while to get a little phrase. Keep everything going, acting and everything is still going while I'm glancing down. Stay in character, I'm still reacting, and then I look up and say the line. It's so easy. But first, before you do anything, make it make sense. Go through and break down the scene very quickly and create your reality. Ta-da! Cold reads. Not cold at all, but warm and fuzzy.